1-800 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based brands.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
What's new and what's on sale at Wheeler Power Sports? Many new bikes, quads, and side-by-sides from Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Polaris are arriving weekly. New to the dealership, the Polaris Ranger XT 1500, Kawasaki Ridge with a full cabin, HVAC, and the all-new Brute Force 450. Plus, we have rebates and dealer discounts totaling as much as $6,000 off certain side-by-sides. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Deer hunting in the comfort of an enclosed 6x6 Lazy Man fiberglass box blind. It's affordable at Jelco Outdoors. Lazy Man Fat Girl Blinds, built here in Fort Smith with your choice of 6-foot or 10-foot tower blind platforms, starting at $22.99.99. Box blinds are great for taking the kids with plenty of room and out of the weather. Check out the deer blinds at Jelco Outdoors. Hunt longer in the comfort of a Lazy Man box blind, sold locally at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
End of season savings are yours right now on Kubota hay equipment at Gray Brothers, including the new DM Series disc mowers, or try Kubota's DM Series trail mowers. And for the prettiest bale of hay on the market, try Kubota's VV Series round baler. With Gray Brothers low pricing and great interest rates from Kubota, it's time for your new hay equipment. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be in the low to mid 60s. Clear skies. Could see some patchy frost overnight as we drop down into the mid 30s. Sunshine, a high in the upper 60s on Thursday. Friday, sunny skies. Highs just over 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no mock at halftime.
Number one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. One, two, three. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning on this lovely Wednesday on halftime on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com, the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson here. My partner, Matt Jones. Kristen Johnston in the studio chair today. It is great to be with you today. I usually be balling up a box score. There is no box score to ball up. I still have my my Arkansas-Tennessee box score from a couple of weeks ago. And, hey, we moved past that game a while back, focusing on an LSU now. You got SEC basketball media days yesterday for the men's side. John Calipari had a lot to say. So did Adu Tierro, Janelle Davis. Women's side is in Birmingham today. Mike Neighbors will be up there in about 4.5 hours to talk about his team. Matt, good morning to you. How you doing on this Wednesday?
Man, it's always nice to hear from Coach Neighbors. And as far as that box score goes, maybe do people still laminate things anymore? Like you might want to get that laminated and get Coach Pittman to sign that. That's his biggest win as Razorback head coach. How cool would that be to get another top 10 win? I wonder when the last time the Razorbacks beat back to a top 10 team in back-to-back weeks.
Never mind it being night games.
At home.
At home, national audience. And being underdogs in both of them, too. Big underdog against Tennessee. What was it that I saw the last line was here against Arkansas?
What was it, 12.5 against Tennessee or something like that?
I think that's exactly what it was when it closed out. You're right. It's kind of stayed really steady throughout the week, 2.5 points. Arkansas sounds to me, Matt, like if it would be in Baton Rouge, it'd probably be a 5.5 point underdog. But, hey, what's wrong with them? Remember, I think Arkansas has covered the spread every game but one this year. And I remember we used to play a soundbite that said, good coaches win, great coaches cover. I think it might be the other way around. I haven't laminated any of these box scores yet. I still have the A&M box score. I should have thrown that one away.
Jimbo Fisher has that tattooed on his arm right there. Good coaches win, great coaches cover. That's his claim right there.
He can also put however many zeros he wants at the end of his. He could have a tattoo that would start with 75 and then however many zeros to the end of his arm, and I think by then you would pretty much have the amount of money that they're paying him to not coach right now.
Oh, he's winning. That's for sure. He's winning off the field. He can't win on the field, but he's definitely winning off the field.
Laminated box scores. I love it. I do like
You know the
that
play
idea.
calling sheets that like
Yep.
you'll see and they're all laminated. And it's like, man, you know what? This is the biggest win ever. Let's laminate this sucker and get it signed.
I mean, do people keep play sheets or call sheets? Because I know Ruskin and Zach have one in the studios at 99.5 in Springdale. They've got Petrino's call sheet from, I think it was the bowl game Arkansas played East Carolina.
Oh, that's
Liberty
Memphis.
Bowl. Yeah, they've got that one up there. Laminate. I'm sure they weren't the ones that laminated it, but I wonder how many people actually keep those things. Like you keep tickets, but who has tickets to keep any longer? I mean, nobody's got the paper tickets.
You keep a media guide, but who has the media? You didn't even get an SEC media guide this year.
That's right. I felt lucky just to get an Arkansas football media guide. The baseball team does. They still print them out every once in a while. I don't think the women's team prints out media guides. They don't even call it a media guide. They call it a record book, and it's just a PDF that's pulled up. That's all it is. Ugly baseball game yesterday, Matt. Wasn't the prettiest win, but I'm always told it doesn't matter what the style points are unless it's college football, because in Major League Baseball, the style points matter not at all. But it wasn't a really pretty game yesterday. For one thing, New York scores their first run on a drop pop-up by the Cleveland shortstop Rocchio, who's a really good shortstop. Just, I don't know what happened there. He lost the ball in the lights, lost the ball above the lights. Yankees ended up with some of the weirdest base running mistakes that you could see, which led to my new favorite call by John Sterling that I'll play later on, where he basically accused the Yankees of running the bases like drunks. In fact, I think those were his exact words. The Yankees walked 6, but just kept Cleveland from coming through with the big base hit. That was the issue for the Dodgers in their Game 2 loss to the Mets. They had all sorts of opportunities to knock in runs. 1 for 11 runners in scoring position. Yesterday, Cleveland was 0 for 7. Their starter doesn't make it out of the second inning. They basically throw the entire bullpen. They had a chance to win, couldn't get that big hit, and now New York will head to Cleveland up 2-0, and they got the Guardians back up against the wall. And the NL Series resumes today, and the Mets and the Dodgers even at 1 apiece, and they're bringing out Strawberry and Gooden for the first pitch today. Yeah.
Oh, they're bringing it all out right there. That's like LSU when they had Shaq Diesel, they had Odell Beckham, they had everybody for that LSU Ole Miss game. Hey, come on, bring them on back.
They sure did. I thought Beckham was.
Still playing.
I thought he wasn't allowed. No, still playing, but I thought he wasn't allowed anywhere near the LSU sideline from when. I think that was after the 2019 championship. Remember, he was handing out like $100 bills to the players on the field. Back when that wasn't allowed. I don't know if it's even allowed now or not. But I think he had, I don't know what the term was, but he had to stay away from the program at least for a couple of years. But sounds like the couple of years has ended. You remember when he was doing it? It was like, I forget who it was. He
Joe
had
Burrow.
a whole roll of bills
it's
right
that
there.
year they won the Joe Burrow's national championship. Yeah, they had that's when they had 3 receivers that were going to go play on Sunday. I mean, I think there was like 12 guys on that team got drafted.
Yeah, and most of them are still playing now too, right? Yeah, Strawberry and Gooden I guess Strawberry catches the first pitch from Gooden.
Darryl Strawberry, Doc Gooden. Which one of those careers would you have wanted? Knowing that you know everything about them, and both of them, they're both. I mean, really, if they're both healthy and not whatever, they're both first ballot Hall of Famers. But we know the path they went down. But which one of those careers would you have wanted?
That's a good question.
I think I'd want Strawberries.
Well, they were sort of identical in the idea that they both win Rookie of the Year. They're both on the '86 Mets, which to me is an iconic team. Just different from any other world champion in a lot of cases. They both ended up finishing their career with the Yankees. After all the issues with drug abuse and injuries and everything. Strawberry found God and preaches all across the country. Heck, I had an interview with him on this show a few years ago, and he was at an FCA event in Fort Smith. I don't know which one I'd want, Because really, I view them as somewhat identical.
They're kinda
It's just one
yeah.
was a pitcher and one was an outfielder.
It's just, what do you want to do? Play every fifth day or play every day? But that swing, Strawberry had, and I want to be able to swing left-handed, and then just to see Strawberry like that. I think that's kind of that's like the last thing that would draw me over.
You know, the thing is, though, they're bringing him out to honor the '86 Mets championship. The '86 Mets beat the Astros in the playoffs that year, and then went on for that iconic World Championship, the series against the Red Sox. But they only played against the Dodgers in one playoff series while those two guys were there, and they lost to the '88 Dodgers. So we'll see if that has the same sort of effect later on today when that first pitch is thrown. Meanwhile, I was trying to find out if I could see whether Sam Pittman has said anything about Taylon Green's health on the teleconference today, because he's done with the teleconference. And here we go. 26 minutes ago, said Taylon Green is, quote, still not full speed yet.
What did I tell you a week ago?
You told us a week ago that, heck, I think you said not even a week ago, it would have been the Monday after the game against Tennessee, that you didn't think he was going to play. He goes on to continue. We certainly think there's a possibility that he can get there. We'll have to wait and see. We have 2 more practices and a walk, but have been encouraged about his progression. So there's a lot going on there. Coach Pittman is encouraged about his progression, but he's not at full speed. Didn't give a percentage.
Man,
it's like we all, again, I don't even really know how you can tell between 90% and 85% or 90% and 80%, but that would have been helpful for us to have a sense. Because not at full speed yet, but what does that mean?
And when they brought him back in the game against Tennessee and they ran that bootleg right, he wasn't 50% on that play. So that's why I see that, and you're thinking, man, that's gonna. I know we have the best treatment staff and doctors around, and the training room it's first class in every way. And he's a youngster. He's an athlete. He's gonna heal quicker than everybody else. You know, you're looking at everything in that perspective. You got to err on the side of kid safety. Taylon Green's going to be your quarterback next year. He's going to be your quarter. You know, you got to err if the kid, if it's going to hurt him, all the things that go into it. That being said, I at the beginning, I thought that number 3 would be playing.
Well, and judging on what Coach Pittman says here, it's like I'm, and I believed you from the start. I'm starting to believe you a little bit more, though. I still wonder if this is going to end up being a game time decision, because it certainly sounds, just based on some of this, that it will be.
And if he so Phil, I think we both agree that our quarterback room is better this year than it was last year. And if it's a deal where he can go and you have full confidence in everything, even though he's not 100%, do you still start him just to take a little bit of pressure off of the backup quarterback? Say, hey, we're going to start him, see how it goes. We already know you got to be ready. If you're the backup, you better be preparing like you're going to be the starter. And the thing is, if you're the third string quarterback, you better be preparing like you're going to get some reps too, because you never know what's going to happen.
Halftime on this Wednesday includes no Clay Henry, since he's all the way out in Colorado, and we're not bugging him today. So we'll have Dudley Dawson from Hogville in about an hour. And after this break, it's Grant Hall for his usual Wednesday hit. So stay with that, and lots of time for calls and texts as we go throughout the show. Again, got to give the number, 877-377-6963. And we'll be back with Grant Hall right after this.
This is halftime.
It's over. There goes Auburn. The number 1 team in the country is defeated, and they are rushing the court at Budweiser Arena. They are rushing the floor at Budweiser Arena.
Don't do that. No.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hey, Hawk fans, it's Ty with the Morning Rush. Join me this Saturday, October the 19th, from 1 to 3 o'clock at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for Arkansas Game Day. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular price clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value half off, including their Nike apparel and jerseys. It does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Arkansas Game Day live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 1 till 3.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You never give me your. You only give me your funny paper, and in the middle of negotiations, you break down. I never give you my number. I only give you my situation. And in the middle of investigation, I break down.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Always appreciate a visit from Grant Hall, joining us on a Wednesday morning on Halftime. Grant, good morning. What's going on?
Well, first of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about Rose Richardson. You know, I know you all did yesterday. The funeral service is Friday. I think maybe it went out for a little bit yesterday. It was Thursday, but I talked to Norm DeBryan last night, who actually is going to be involved. You know, he's very much involved in that, in the Catholic Church in Fayetteville, out on, I believe it's Fred Starr Lane. And so that's going to be at 1 o'clock on Friday. And I know a lot of former players and coaches are going to be there. And Norm is, he's amazing. You know, I think he played 13 holes of golf yesterday. I saw him in the movie theater last night, and he told me he had gone out to Coach Richardson's ranch and talked to him, had a nice talk with him yesterday afternoon. Rose certainly dealt with a lot the last 10, 12 years of her life. And I remember when my dad was ill in the hospital as far back as, I guess, 12 years ago, maybe. Nolan was he was just in the hospital waiting for one of Rose's chemo treatments. And so, she'll be fondly remembered by all those former players and people that knew her on Friday.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, Grant. Yeah, we'll talk with Dudley Dawson too about her later on, because he knew her personally fairly well. You watching much? Obviously, you are. You don't miss anything that's going on in television and sports, Grant. What do you think about the playoffs right now? It's like I can't root for the Mets. It's like they're supposed to be this plucky team because they had this awful first 2 months, and they've got like a McDonald's mascot that's their inspiration and everything. But it's like, come on. They spent over $315 million on their payroll this year. It just happened to work out where they slipped into the playoffs. I can't not root for Cleveland. I mean, they're the plucky guy that comes out of nowhere. It's just they led their division almost the entire season.
Well, because I went to this movie Saturday night, the Saturday Night Live thing is on. I went to see that, so I only got to watch the last couple of innings of the game last night, but it kept hearing and seeing references to sloppy play and so forth, 6 walks and this and that. But Cleveland's manager said afterwards, they're not going to change anything. They're going to go home and hope to play well in front of their fans. And, it's starting to feel more and more, though, to me, like a Yankees-Dodgers thing, don't you think? Like, like.
I still don't know if LA's got enough pitching. They're still going to have another bullpen game thrown in there, and it could come at the worst time. That's what makes this game today not must win, but pretty close to it. I just don't know if the Dodgers have enough pitching for 7 games.
These bullpen games, Phil, used to when you'd see that in Major League Baseball, and you had these openers, and it felt like teams sort of in desperation. But now, my gosh, we're seeing 8 pitcher shutouts, and it's tough for hitters to deal with seeing a new arm every time up there. I heard the other night that the average speed now, Major League fastball, is 93.7, and it was 91.7 15 years ago or something. And that still feels low, doesn't it? When you get to these playoffs, it feels like everybody's throwing 98 to 100, but somehow they deal with it.
Hey, Grant, I saw something in NFL, and I know just like what Phil was saying, you kind of keep up with a lot of stuff, but I thought it was pretty crazy. 2 older receivers that still, if they're healthy, man, they're just as good as anybody in the league. But Amari Cooper goes to the Bills, and Devontae Adams goes to the Jets. Which team was that a better pickup for?
Well, the Jets really need. I know that Aaron Rodgers is ecstatic about it, and they tried every way they could figure out to lose that game the other night, and they did. And they're 2-4, but I'm sure they still feel they can make some sort of run.
Both of them have been in the league. Both of them are 10 years plus, going into the league. Which one do you think kind of has a little more left in the tank out of those 2 guys?
I think maybe at least 31 years old, right? And that's up there.
That's right.
But,
Amari's 30, yeah, and then but they're both they've both been playing for a decade.
The Cowboy. There was a story this morning, I think maybe by Kalishaw, decrying the fact that the Cowboys didn't do anything and that they really need to, and they've got this horrific defense and John, y'all probably talked about this week where Jerry kind of went off on his own radio on Monday at age 82, but their fans were wanting them to do something, and they didn't. So at least these other teams are still trying to get better.
I thought that was funny. He said, I can get somebody else in here to ask a better question. And the thing is, really, he pays those guys. That's the other thing that I think people are missing is he's actually those radio guys are actually employed by the Cowboys.
No, my understanding is that's a flagship station of the Cowboys. That station would pay for the rights to have the Cowboys on their air. I don't think Jerry owns the station. I don't think those are employees of the Cowboys. I think he was almost tacitly just sort of suggesting that he could take the Cowboys broadcast away from that station.
And he probably could.
Be blamed on them, and then they wouldn't have the revenue that brings in.
I got you.
He's
and
on
he
there
could.
twice a week, right? I think
Right,
he does
yeah,
2 shows a week.
It's also, I don't know. I mean, it also came off a little bit as like, all right, Jerry's got passion. So it's. I mean, he knows he's speaking to fans. He knows he's doing that. I mean, it's hey everybody, I still care. I still care tremendously, and you're not going to chase me away from this. And I don't know. It just felt like somebody that was backed into a corner too and didn't really know what else to say.
Phil,
what else can he say? Yeah, I didn't do enough in the off season. I mean, what do you say that? I guess you do.
Yeah. If we could back up to baseball just for a second, Phil, because I don't know if I watched the Friday night game between Oklahoma State and Arkansas, and there were 8,000 people there, and it just blew my. I went in there expecting maybe 2,500 or something. It was amazing, and it was free, so that's a good price. But I was impressed by several things. Iredale, I think, went 4 for 4 in that game, and he made only his second error of the fall ball. Logan Maxwell, this kid from TCU, left-handed hitter, quick bat. Of course, Aloy got a 2-run double. This left-handed pitcher, I don't know if you say Beidelshees. Is that how you?
I think it's Beidelshees.
Beidelshees. Well, it's interesting because, like in the 1950s, Arkansas had a football player, and his name was Gene Beutelshees. And it was like Beutel, and the rest of it, I think, was spelled the same. So it must be some kind of variation of that name. But
I don't know. I took my son to see the new Beetlejuice movie the other day, so all of a sudden I want to say Beidelshees 3 times in a row.
Well,
and see what happens.
This guy, that's about how long it takes him to pitch. As soon as the ball goes back in his glove, he's ready to pitch. And Oklahoma State's coach came out there and kind of complained a little bit, hey, give these guys some time. Remember when Jim Cott late in his career did that, just got the ball back and threw it and pitched, and he was kind of a pioneer, I guess, of a pitch clock, not needing a pitch clock.
Yeah, they could have called him the human pitch clock. It's just like, you remember Mike Hargrove's nickname, the longtime Cleveland Indians manager? When he
human
was
rain delay.
He was known as the human rain delay. That's exactly right. That's one of my all-time favorite. That's one of my favorite nicknames in sports. The other would have been Death to Flying Things, which I don't even remember the name of the guy who was known as that, but he was a center fielder that caught everything. The land where triples go to die.
I liked Rick Innocent Lysander too, and what was it? Jose Take Me on a Sea Cruise or something. All those ones that Berman did.
Hey, I got to ask you about this LSU game on Saturday. We still don't know, any availability status for Taylen Green. Sam Pittman earlier this morning says that he's better than he was before, but it sounds like he's still limited. How much do you put Arkansas's ability to win this game against the Tigers on the ability to have Taylen Green playing at whatever percentage he is healthy?
Oh, about 98%. Matt, I'm with you. I didn't think it looked promising at all when Green went back in that game and couldn't move around, and who knows what it is and when he'll be healthy. But it's just, that's your guy. And not only that, if anybody watched the Ole Miss LSU game, I came away from that thinking it's going to be really tough to beat either one of those teams, even though you're playing at home, because I thought they both played great. There were some throws and catches in that game that should go into a time capsule. And, of course, Nussmeier came on at the end, hit the big plays. I was surprised that his percentage was only 43 or something in the game, but he had it at the end. And the other thing about LSU guys is he's only been sacked twice this year, and I think both times against South Carolina. So Sam Pittman talked about that Monday, about his ability to move the pocket and stay protected in that pocket, and that's going to be a big key to me if Arkansas can get to him some.
Yeah, watching that LSU Ole Miss game, and Phil had brought this stat up. I didn't know the stat until Monday, but LSU looks like, out of the teams I've seen so far, they look like the most explosive team that this Arkansas team has played, and we're really going to have to keep those guys in front of us.
Yeah, I heard a stat, Matt, that I think his 53 passes was the third most in LSU history, and that's surprising when you consider all the way back to Burt Jones and a lot of quarterbacks.
They've had two Davey O'Brien winners in the last 6 years. Yeah.
I mean, Daniels, the guy sat the bench behind Daniels last year. So it's going to be tough. I mean, we'll find out Saturday probably if and when Green's going to play.
Cal spoke yesterday, SEC Media Days on the men's side. You got Mike Neighbors talking today on the women's side. I mean, completely different expectations on either side here of basketball. Media picked the men's team fourth, and the women's team picked dead last in the SEC. So, you know, in their mind, even Arkansas getting to the NIT would be a surprise, I think. But on the other side, for the men's, it's like this is expected to be one of the top teams in the country. I don't know. Is this a season that you put it as a Final Four or bust? Is that a fair way to look at this, even if it's Cal's first year?
I don't think so, because I think even being picked fourth, I think more is a tribute to Calipari's past and his ability to acquire talent, because this is like a sight unseen team almost, at least in terms of they're playing together. And two or three of these guys have had injuries. I think they're saying that they're hoping they'll be okay by the season. But, the Arkansas thing, kind of the women's side, I was expecting them to be maybe 13, 14, in there. And I've talked to a few people over there that think he's recruited a little bit better than people think, and some of these international players may surprise. But you can only go up from 16, right?
I think you make a good point. I mean, you're replacing your top five scorers, rebounders, assist makers, and a lot of the newcomers are coming in from either junior college or, I think one of the only things that those who would vote on this would feel they know is Izzy Higginbottom can drop in around 20 points a game. But with so many international players, they've never seen these players before. They don't know what they can do. They don't know much about them at all.
Yeah, so maybe not a bad spot to be in, but I don't know. Probably half the people that vote on these things are in the middle of football season, and they just slap something down on a sheet of paper or
that's a fair assessment,
in their phone and send it. And so we'll see. But it was kind of a jolt to see Arkansas pick 16.
Grant, we'll leave it there. We'll see you Saturday at Razorback Stadium. Thanks for your time.
6 o'clock, and Dan Hampton's going to be honored. That'll be a nice thing,
right.
Got to see him play way back here. See you guys.
Thanks, Grant.
Grant Hall with us each Wednesday on Halftime. Yeah, and so you're thinking of like Dan Hampton, and I brought up two players from the iconic Mets championship. That Bears team from
that's about the same time, right?
Before.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I would have been, let's see, that Super Bowl, I guess I would have been 8 years old. And the Mets championship, I was 9. Those are the teams that you never forget. But truthfully, I do think Hampton's 85 Bears, that's on the short list for greatest defenses of all time. You could make a case for greatest team of all time, but certainly one of the most memorable teams of all time. Same with the 86 Mets. It's not, it can't just me being 8 and 9 years old. I think from my brain, that's part of it. But those were teams that had, you want to talk about personality. Maybe craziness would be a word you throw in there too.
Well, that 85-86 Celtics team is considered one of the best basketball teams ever with Bill Walton. I know he's at the end of his career. Maybe it's just something around that 80s world right there when people were dominating.
877-377-6963 if you want to get with us on halftime. Don't forget about the closeout deals at WT Equipment right now, a Hustler zero-turn mowers, machines that are built like tanks but drive like sports cars, fabricated welded steel decks, and all the power you need, plus a warranty to match. Get over to WT Equipment, and they're going to guide you to the right mower for you and your budget. Deals last while supplies last, and they're priced to move. WT Equipment is your partner in progress. Stay with halftime. We're back in just a moment.
Joe, don't be so cool, dude.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This number may be slowing down, but the deals at Vivid Seats haven't. Whether it's scoring MLB tickets for a night at the ballpark or locking down the biggest matchups for the upcoming football season, Vivid Seats has you covered. With the only rewards program in the game, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats has something for every fan. Catch the deals you want for the games you crave, all backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles. 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a valentine? Birthday greetings, bottle of wine. If I'd been out till 2:45, would you lock the door? Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It's funny, Matt, you bring up who would be happier being traded now that they've been traded, Amari Cooper or Davante Adams, and I can't figure out who. I really can't. Both leaving some pretty tough spots, both leaving where you just don't have a serviceable NFL quarterback. The problem, though, is in Vegas, they're going to have the money to go out and sign somebody next year, or depending on where they fall in the draft and the right quarterback is there. And I'm not sure if there is a right quarterback in college football right now that's going to be drafted next year. For Cleveland, they are so hamstrung with this Deshaun Watson contract that I wouldn't want to be a wide receiver next year, the year after for them, because it doesn't sound like they have many options other than keeping him on the roster and, and trading their best wide receiver now. I think in this case, I'd rather be Amari Cooper.
Well,
I'd rather be Cooper because you're going to a better team. You're going with a younger quarterback, and not a place that feels like it's dysfunctional, and you can be the top receiver.
I don't know that either one of these receivers has 4 years left in them, but
Sure.
but they're not doing it to for 4 years. But I'll tell you this: if those guys are healthy, man, they're top 10 guys. They are that both of those cats, both Davante Adams and Amari Cooper. If they're healthy and can go, you just added an A. Those are A receivers. It just says A, right? But they're one of the few. They're one of the few A receivers. So both of them, it's good. I think I'm with you that. I think Davante Adams is better than Amari Cooper, but slightly, just slightly. I wouldn't be mad at either one of them. But I think the situation in Buffalo is 10 times, but maybe more than that. But I don't want to turn it to 11 yet. But I think it's a little bit better than that situation. I mean, the Jets just fired their head coach. What are they doing?
And they just changed the play caller. Maybe you can turn it up to 10 1/4.
There you
go.
go.
Not quite to 11 yet. But for these in-season trades for wide receivers, like Albrecht, the new interim coach for the Jets, said that he's not sure whether Davante Adams will be ready to play Sunday night against Pittsburgh. And I would think, look, I understand. He just got there Tuesday, but there aren't that many NFL games. You have 17 of them. There's 6 in. I would imagine you got to get him out there, but he's got to learn the offense. He's got to know what he's got to do. Or maybe does it just become as simple as something that Andrew Armstrong said recently about how it is that he gets open? I think he was talking more about the scramble drill than anything else. Just go find grass. Go find some open grass somewhere. I can't imagine you trade for Davante Adams and don't play him the first game. But how difficult can it be for a receiver to move from an offense that he has spent months learning, perfecting the routes and everything, and the philosophies behind it and everything that goes into learning an offense, and then you got to do it again, but just like that, like in a shotgun sense.
There's a transition period. The thing I would say, both these cats have played 10+ years. They're up to date. They're in the groove. They know, they're hip. They know. And the thing with an X receiver, Phil, it's so easy just to tag X dig, X curl, X option. You just tag it at the end of it, so you're telling the guy what to do. So he's not really thinking. So I think that might be coaches speak with and maybe Davante Adams not healthy because I think he had a hamstring issue. But and I don't know if it was a real hamstring issue or I want to get traded type of hamstring issue. But it's pretty simple to put a receiver in, especially these veteran guys. I mean, they're both. You got to be halfway sharp, and so I think they'll be all right because you're able to just tag either one of those, both offenses. You're able to just kind of tag them what to do.
877-377-6963. Now let's take that conversation and throw it over to college football. Let's just, and it's, people will keep saying, hey, it's like a mini NFL and everything. No, it isn't. There are no midseason trades. There never will be midseason trades in college sports. You just can't do this. But wouldn't it be, it would be that much more difficult because what you're saying about these wide receivers that have been around a while is that they're pros. They're seasoned pros. They know how to learn a playbook. They know what it takes to get open. For a college receiver, I can't imagine. I think that would take like almost a month to figure this out. But then again, I don't know what it's like to play wide receiver. It just seems like I think you'd be able to, like in college sports, if you had to trade, it would be easier to trade a baseball player than it would a football player. Much easier. Heck, I mean, that's the same for the pros. But the on-ramp for a wide receiver in college football just seems like it would be that much steeper.
Well, there's a lot of
pro receiver,
and that's the thing. There's and to your point, Phil, there's a lot of option routes when plays are called for these wideouts that college guys are still learning how to kind of adjust and how to be quick with it and how to know what the look is. If it's man, if it's zone, what is my option? Where Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams, man, they've been doing it so long, they know they know exactly how to run these option routes, and that's kind of, I think, the trickier part for college receivers, because you going from high school and it's like exactly what you said, just go get open, just run a post, and it's not as detailed. And now it's like, hey, your third outside step, you have to be breaking across, and it's not like that in high school. So yes, it keeps getting a little bit more complex.
You feel pretty good about the idea that Arkansas has found their second receiver. It is Satania now, right? I mean, he's second on the team in receptions. Felt like he really started to come into his own a little bit in the Tennessee game. He had some big plays, especially one on the late drive, one on the early drive. I mean, it did lead to helping to 10 points. I was surprised that Tesla didn't get many targets, if any targets, in the Tennessee game. I'd have to double check on the box score.
We missed him on that. We missed him one, I think, in the first half.
Yeah, he only was targeted once. That was it. And then, some people have, and I've seen this only on social media, they feel like Green isn't looking for Tesla at all, that he's locked in on Armstrong, and now maybe after that he's looking at Satania. And I know part of this is also progressions. There's certain receivers you're supposed to be looking to in certain plays, 1, 2, and 3, but it to some people, and I'm not sure if I agree, it feels like Green just isn't looking Tesla's way very much.
Well, I would like to see the 22 tape, Phil. You're there. Your eyes are better. I'm watching on TV. I can't see all the time when he's coming out of his break if he's open, and I don't get to see it as clear as you do. I don't think so. I mean, I hope not. That's not a recipe for success. I mean, you go through your progressions, and yes, you might have somebody that when he's manned up, you're like, I know I'm still throwing him the ball because that's my dude, that's my A player. But I like Tesla, Phil. I think Tesla has has some of the best hands on the team. But for whatever reason, I could see where Tesla's probably not ever really the one option. Whenever a play's called in, he's probably always the 2 or 3, or if we're thinking it's man, he's running a zone beater. It's. But I don't get to see the tape. I don't get to see the 22, and I know you get to see it a little better than I do.
877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. We are right up against a break. Got a caller on hold, and we'll get to that right after this as we wrap up hour number 1 in a moment on halftime.
This is halftime.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke?
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, every matchup, breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, and NBA to political props. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack, poke. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas.
Remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
In the road. Road. Why don't we do it? Road. I know everyone's watching. Why don't we do the road? We do it in the road.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I think Juwan had something he had to do. We did have a caller on hold. We couldn't take it going into that commercial break. Let's get a look at some of the tweets coming here, some of the texts that are coming in here. Hogwild says Davante Adams helps nobody but Aaron Rodgers' ego.
I know they're buddies. You got to go back to 2014, when their whole reign started. So, I mean, that's a decade ago right there when they were doing their thing in Green Bay. And man, it's a lot of route running for receivers, a lot of running, and you kind of get banged up a little. What does he have left? Dude, Davante Adams is a G if he's healthy. He's a top 10 guy in the league. I just don't know if you're going to get it, but you're just trying – I mean, and then Amari Cooper, he's still good. I think Davante Adams is better, but just slightly.
You know the crazy thing, and it was the same idea as when I brought up that Arkansas had scored more points in their first 3 SEC games. Heck, you could even go to their first 3 SEC games last year under Dan Enos than they have this year under Bobby Petrino. Yet there's a feeling that the offense is better performing, and I think it is better performing. They block a lot better up front. Yeah, even in the passing game. I mean, I think they made a great improvement from the A&M game to the Tennessee game. But there was this feeling like Bobby Petrino is the head coach, is the not the head coach, sorry, he's the offensive coordinator. So all of a sudden, remember like that's supposed to add 7 points a game or 10 points a game. I remember having that conversation. It hasn't happened yet, at least not statistically. I think the team emotionally, mentally, I think they have a heck of a lot more confidence in giving the ball to the offense than last year. With the Jets, they scored more points with Zach Wilson in their first 6 games than they have with Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback, in the first 6 games this year. Like, I mean, digest that for a moment. Because Zach Wilson, conceivably, I know people were talking about him being potentially one of the worst quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. And yet, his offense has outscored Rodgers' offense for the first 6 games. Make it make sense. Rodgers, a first ballot Hall of Famer, is on the short list of one of the greatest of all time. Can't just be age, can it?
There's some dysfunction going on there. I think we talked a little bit about this last year. When you fire an offensive coordinator in the middle of the season and they fired a head coach, it's worse than what you think. It's you know, they give you a coach's speak and you're trying to figure things out. But when they fire a head coach this early into the season, I think it's worse there than what we think.
Like, the crazy thing, Matt, is there's been a firing in the NFL before there was a firing in college football. So by the time the first NFL coach is canned, sometimes there's 4 or 5 college football coaches that have been fired. But it's the middle of October. By now, I think the last 3 years, somebody had been let go by now. Not yet.
Yeah, it was your boy at Michigan State last year.
Well, he kind of let
himself
go. That was a little bit. I don't remember who was the first one to actually get fired for on-field performance. I don't remember the first one, but Tucker was. And then a little bit more to do with a phone call. But you're right, he was the first. I thought Pat Fitzgerald was the first last year.
Okay,
and he was fired before the season even started. Does that count? It's not an in-season firing. It's an in-August camp firing, which makes it that much more awkward. And I remember they actually had a few more wins than I expected in that season as well. Oh man, yeah. Usually by now we would have talked about some jobs being open in college football. But right now, honestly, I mean, if I'm thinking of the Power 4, I don't know of anybody that's going to get canned over the next week.
Maybe your boy out there in Stillwater that's headbutting cows after they go 0-3 to start after they're picked to win the Big 12.
You can't fire somebody.
No, I'm not. No, he gets
by a cow, can't you?
Well, when he gets a year to. I mean, he's
maybe a year. Yeah. That's right. Hour number 2 coming up. 877-377-6963, and halftime. We'll be right back.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
It's time for the 17th annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Tethered balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest. It's time for the 17th annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Tethered balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3010 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be in the low to mid 60s. Clear skies. Could see some patchy frost overnight as we drop down into the mid 30s. Sunshine, a high in the upper 60s on Thursday. Friday, sunny skies. Highs just over 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take it here. That's the perspective. If I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's go to the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back into hour 2 of Halftime, live on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnson continues to produce. Dudley Dawson from Hogville about 15 minutes from right now, so it's an open segment if you want to get on. 877-377-6963. Biggest game in college football for the weekend would be Georgia and the Texas Longhorns. Ought to be a great game. Looking forward to this one. Was looking on BetSares and app to see where they got the line at. Texas favored -3.5, so they're basically favored because they're at home. And they haven't been tested yet. They're the only SEC team, Matt, not only to not be undefeated, I mean, they haven't even been tested yet. They have,
well, at Michigan don't you think that was a little bit of a test or not? You just kind of Michigan. Well, I know they're down this year, but that's still tough early in the season to go up to Ann Arbor.
I think the idea of the travel aspect of it is probably the most difficult part of it because they were up 24-3 at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. Yeah, you're right. I saw the game.
But yeah, traveling there, and I mean, I think that shows the ability to play in a really hostile atmosphere. Absolutely, yeah. But they rolled over them as they've rolled over everybody. They're one of the, and I remember Tennessee came in without trailing when Arkansas beat them. I forget the other teams that haven't trailed yet, but Texas is one of them. And it's just been blowout after blowout after blowout. Everybody else has been tested. Georgia loss at Alabama, 1-point win over Kentucky. It's not even just like the losses for some of these teams. It's also Tennessee being forced to go to overtime to beat Kentucky this last weekend. It's Alabama, not just a loss to Vanderbilt, but probably should have lost against South Carolina at home. I mean, even LSU's got the one loss, but they also have a really close shave against Carolina. And right now, it is only Texas. Right now, to me, and I mean, this game will have a lot to do with our opinions about this, Matt, but right now, just looking at who they've played and the final scores and everything, I mean, Texas right now is head and shoulders above everybody else in the SEC. Doesn't mean that that's what it's going to finish at, but at the turn, that's what it is.
I think you're right. I heard your boy Hugh Freeze said Auburn, if they play Missouri 10 times, they'd win 9 out of 10, and that's where they get to go. 5-1 Missouri, 1-1 in conference, 0-3 Auburn going there. But not only that, Phil, the other game this is just as massive is this Alabama-Tennessee game, because the loser's done. The loser, the thing is, you don't control your destiny for the playoff 12 once you get that second loss. So Alabama, Tennessee, man, that could be very interesting. And Tennessee hasn't been too fond of the Crimson Tides this year. They went to Nashville, couldn't get a dub. Now they're going to Knoxville.
So does that knock them out of the playoff 12, or does it just knock them out of the SEC championship? That's
what it does is they have to get help. They once you get that second loss, they're behind. So you don't control your own destiny anymore.
I was watching the I didn't even realize they were doing this. I was just kind of flipping around before the baseball game, and ESPN had a college football playoff show on. I thought, wait a minute, I thought we weren't doing the rankings until November. And we don't have the playoff rankings yet. This was just done specifically and only off of the AP poll, which, to me felt like an exercise in futility, because it's just 6 games in. You still have so many more games that are going to have a lot to do with whether or not the teams that are in the, whatever the playoff looks like right now to get in. And there's still some losses out there for them, because just like you're saying here, Alabama or Clemson, the loser of this game gets knocked out of the top 12.
Tennessee.
Conceivable. Well, yeah, I mean, even Alabama. I mean, the loss to Vanderbilt is one thing. The close win at home against South Carolina, I felt they were a little lucky they didn't lose some spots in the AP poll. I wonder if the committee might view things a little bit differently. But a loss to Tennessee, yeah, I think they'd be out of that top 12. I guess some of that also has to depend upon what else is going on in what else has happened this year in college football. But it's also like this oddity of the undefeated teams in the Big Ten not playing each other. Means that this Ohio State-Penn State game, it's the same day that Arkansas plays against Ole Miss. That's going to be an elimination game potentially, because Oregon very well may end up undefeated in the Big Ten. I still don't believe that Indiana will. But Penn State and Ohio State, that's where the winner probably is in the driver's seat to finish behind Oregon. Or I guess if it's Penn State, then it comes down to tiebreakers, because they both very well could be undefeated. So that's one of the things about it. Is also they have 9 games in that league, and the SEC has 8. But it's like the teams that are contenders in the SEC, Matt, most of them are playing each other. In the Big Ten, it isn't necessarily that way. So this, the scheduling will have a little something to do with it. And I also wondered, we brought it up yesterday, this SEC Big Ten football challenge, whether, it's actually going to happen. And just I think the idea that these leagues want to put on a display of power for the rest of college sports to get a look at, I can't see how this doesn't happen. But I do wonder, how this also means, because anytime you're talking with conferences, that means you're talking with conference television partners, because those are the conferences' money. That's where the money's coming from for the most part. So you got to find a way. I mean, look, ESPN still has all of the college football playoff. They outbid everybody else that might have thrown in their hat into the ring. ESPN, I think, is just licensing, what was it, 2 or 3 of the games to TNT, but it's still ESPN broadcasts, and they're making money off the licensing fee to TNT. With this for this SEC Big Ten football challenge, if it does happen, and I hope it does, you end up with the 4 networks all trying to figure out, well, you get that game, you get this game, you get this game, and it's just like it used to be on Saturdays where CBS gets the pick of the litter, and then ESPN and ABC would go from there. But, I mean, that's just a matter of finding, of dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and keeping your television partners happy. And it's like that's the kind of challenge, the kind of football weekend which would have such massive ramifications for a college football playoff. And that's the kind of weekend that, to me, I wonder, where do you fit that in? Is that a weekend that you drop in early in the season because you have so many of those really fun non-conference matchups that occur week 1 or week 2? Or is this the kind of thing that you try to drop into October, just before, either a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the first rankings come out from the rankings that matter from the playoff committee? Because I don't think we can fully appreciate the idea of how big this kind of a weekend, SEC versus Big Ten, would be, not just for rankings, not just for TV partners or getting eyes on it or the good of the game or everything. Massive ramifications, Matt, for the college football playoff. And that's why it's a power play for these 2 leagues against the rest of college football.
Well, I'd like for them to do it, SEC, the Big Ten, and maybe do it the weekend before the college, the football committee comes out with it. If you're saying which weekend do you want it, well, is next weekend, when is this October, or is it November 3rd when they come out with the college football playoff committee?
I think it would be after the November 2nd games.
Okay, so that's the weekend to do it. Like, you want to do it that first, like when the committee's looking, you played some conference games, you got 3 games left, but then you throw that game in right there. I think that would help with it would just be so much easier, because look at the top 10 right now. I mean, look at the top 10, and it's all Big Ten and SEC.
877-377-6963 for thoughts you have on this. Remember, Crabtree RV Center in Alma, the RV dealership that served our listening audience in the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. Been at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma for a long time, right beside the Cracker Barrel. And they're going to help you find the perfect RV for your family's adventures. Service and parts department is on site. They get everything you need at Crabtree RV, also online at crabtreerv.com. Dudley Dawson stops by halftime from Hogville in just a moment.
This is halftime.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hardworking. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas, you're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Bow season is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all, we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, let's head to our hotline. We got Dudley Dawson with us from Hogville. Appreciate Dudley stepping in here today. Dudley, it's always great talking with you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Been watching the SEC Women's Media Day some today. I also got in Perry Mason and Matlock too early. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Nice.
You usually go with the courtroom dramas in the morning, Dudley?
Yeah,
Is that your daily routine?
Justice Central is kind of my thing. So
Have you watched the new Kathy Bates Matlock? I can't imagine
Yes.
it's
Yes.
better than the Andy Griffith one.
they've had one episode so far. It's starting back up again Friday. They had a preview thing, and I enjoyed it. Real big plot twist there at the end. For those who haven't watched it yet, I think I'm going to like it.
No spoilers on this show. Does it still
No.
have the earworm? Does it have the same theme? Because it's like an Andy Griffith show always meant you had to be able to whistle the theme. Of course, there was the Andy
No,
Griffith
it's
show
got it.
theme, which was whistling, and then there was Matlock, which we all whistled.
It's a new genre, I'd say. But now I can't look at her without thinking poor James Caan. But for Misery. But,
I can't see her without thinking poor Jack Nicholson.
Yes, that's true. It's true.
That part was unexpected. Anyway, sports here for a moment. I need to talk to you about Rose Richardson because Grant brought her up earlier in the morning. We talked with Clay about her yesterday, and I know you would have had some personal experiences with her, with your connection to Coach Richardson, the basketball program overall. What would you like to say publicly about Rose Richardson?
Well, I would say the first thing I'd want to say is that I believe that everybody she came into touch with in her life was better before it. She was such a wonderful person, and although her health had been failing for a while now, and we knew this was going to happen eventually, it doesn't lessen the depths of our sadness or however you want to look at that. But she was so much during that time that he was here, and there were a lot of young men who didn't have mothers or wasn't able to talk to their mother, be with their mother as much as they want to, and she became that surrogate mother. And she took that job, very importantly. What I would say is she just exuded goodness. And, the one thing behind every great coach, usually, and I would say usually because I don't want to say everything, but behind every great coach is a great male coach. That is a great woman, and she was certainly that. And you could tell just from the outreach of people on social media that she made her impression here. And she went through a lot as a wife. She went through a lot as a mother, but she always came out of that with grace and just an ability to make you feel like you were the most important person in the room.
Well, let's talk about this iteration of Arkansas basketball, in which Coach Calipari had a very nice statement about Rose Richardson and about Coach Richardson, and that is one thing that has stood out to me. And I guess most coaches that have been around the sport as long as he has been, and they're that successful, they're kind of almost like historians of the sport in a way. And you do get that sense from Calipari, and he certainly understands the importance of what Coach Richardson means to Arkansas. And I hear him talking about defense first with this team right now. They'll figure out the offense as it goes along. It might not look great over the first 3 or 4 games, but he's talking defense first. I know Muss talked the same thing. It didn't necessarily always lead to great defense, though.
Yeah, I hope everybody doesn't lose their crap when Kansas comes in here and number one in the country, and maybe Arkansas wins that scrimmage or game, whatever we call it. Maybe they don't, but that's a very good team. These guys, much like a Muss team, it's a bunch of new guys playing together. And it's a lot of new guys playing together. There's certainly a lot of talent there. Just like any mix, it's going to take a while for them to mold. I have belief in him as a coach. I know that the Kentucky folks, suddenly, when he lost some games in the NCAA tournament, they're ready to get rid of him. It seems like it's been a nice mix for both fan bases. I would say Arkansas got the better end of the deal, but Kentucky will say they did because they got one of their own. He's a real Kentucky man, Mark Pelt.
That's right. I think he has the letter jacket to prove it.
It's true.
If we're going to say, and I know, let's just look at this whole thing in the macro that, let's say the next 10 years, Coach Cal's the head coach. We can even say 8, whatever you want to say, next 8-10 years, but we'll put it all in that perspective. 3 Final Fours, 1 national championship. Is that too much to ask for? Could you see something like that? What would you hang it up to say, Dudley? What would you say? You know what? Because it's going to be successful, but really, what is it that we need to be successful? At least 1 title, or would 3 Final Fours be enough?
First of all, fantastic question, and you would work well on Matt Locke and Perry Mason and all that. I would think 3 is a little bit much. I've been around here for 1, obviously, and that took a lot of effort and stuff. I think getting 3, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he gets 1 because he recruits so well, and he certainly has a fire burning in him that's been lit by the change and lit by The Kentucky people saying good riddance and all that. So, I think he's going to do really well here. It takes, as you know, it takes a lot of things to go right for one national championship. So I don't know if I'd get 3, but I think before he leaves here, and I think this is probably at one of the things at the top of his list, is getting one here at Arkansas before he retires.
I think bringing Cal in puts basketball kind of in the same place that baseball is, where if you don't get to what fans envision as the promised land, then it wasn't a successful season. You know what it's like, and it's like, hey, they win a division championship for baseball last year.
But we have to be, I think, as a fan or as whatever you want to call us, we have to be reasonable and rational. And I know that's asking a lot of a fan because look at the Cowboys. What were they talking about this year? Like they're going to win they're not winning a Super Bowl this year. They were never going to win a Super Bowl with that team. So we have
to win the division.
Right. But we have to just look at it and say, okay, do we have the talent? Do we have the ability? What do we think this team's maximum peak can be? Because every team's not, this team could win it.
Yeah, I agree with you. They could be really, really good in a Elite Eight, Final Four contender, with the talent they have. But, man, they could still be the 5th best team in the SEC. The SEC is loaded. And Kentucky's not. I don't even list Kentucky in that top 5. The realistic expectations from a fan base are, we're never going to get that. I will say that the football win over Tennessee kept this last 2 weeks from being inundated with basketball talk. Football was able to hang on there. We'll see how they do this Saturday against LSU. It would be another big win to continue to change the narrative. But, I think because he has had so much success, there's going to be probably unreasonable expectations, but I believe he'll reach some of them.
Do you think this defense holds up? Here's the thing that worries me. We're going to have a backup quarterback playing, probably starting and playing the entire game. Can this defense hold up with LSU? Because can your backup get you 30 points? I think LSU's so explosive that if we can hold LSU to under 30 points, I think that's big times for Travis Williams.
I do too. And I believe in him as a defensive coach. But here's the thing that I, will take more note of in this matchup. Mr. Nussbaum's been under center a lot more than Nico had from Tennessee. And, you put it in that situation. He's going to be able to handle things a little bit better. So Arkansas is going to have to play even better defense, I think, to beat LSU. It's possible. I mean, the last 4 times that they've played, Arkansas's lost, but they've been, within 3-point games. So, there's certainly an opportunity for them to win, but I'm not a betting guy. But if I was, it would be tough for me to take the Razorbacks because, as you said, let's see who the quarterback is at Arkansas. And LSU seems to always win when it plays Arkansas, or at least they do most of the time. I think 19-9 in the Golden Boot games, and won the last 4 in a row.
What we're seeing, it's a defense that keeps them in the ball game. It's not necessarily like the defense that holds a lead. Taylor Green is still the most important player on this team. And maybe that's just an overly general thing to say about a quarterback on a football team, but there are defenses that get leads in fourth quarters and hold on to them. They haven't necessarily done that yet or had to do that too often. It's the offense that's had to make a play late in a game. And the way that they went down the field against Tennessee, I thought said so much about the offensive line specifically and Braylon Russell and the guys who made the plays, and certainly Malachi Singleton. But you got to score. You have to score. It'll come down to a fourth quarter drive, and you feel much better with Green behind center than you will with Singleton.
Malachi Singleton, the offense, deserves a lot of credit for getting it down there in the position in the end zone. But I'm asking you guys this. If Josh Heupel doesn't let them decide to score, are we sure that they would have, and are we sure they would have made the field goal?
I was saying that from the start. It's like, were they paying attention to Arkansas's issues with kicking?
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, man, it looks like, looking at it live, man, that looks like they just let them score. And then you go back and you watch, and people were diving out of the way like it was Taylor Swift walking through.
Hey, Dudley, What was it like for you as a Cardinal fan watching Jack Flaherty shove the last time he was out there? Because that looked like the Jack Flaherty from Cardinal days.
Unlike most Cardinal fans who didn't like Flaherty at the end, I still like him. I wish they wouldn't have traded him. I wish they kept him around. But I know he's not going to come back because we're going to field a AAA team next year, which is what we kind of did this year with some aging veterans. But man, I can't see any new Cardinal shirts for the next couple of years, but maybe 3 years from now.
Welcome to my world, Dudley. You want to be a Pirates fan the next couple of years?
You're coming.
You got plenty of room on the bandwagon.
You're coming. I'm going to go to that ballpark this summer. One of the best things about having a new grandson that lives in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, is that an hour and a half Amtrak ride will get you to 6 different baseball stadiums. You know, I hope my son wants to go, but I'm taking my grandson for sure when he gets big enough.
You're going to love that train ride, too, because once you go through Altoona, you'll find out why they named the AA team in Altoona the Curve, because the train goes around a horseshoe curve. You can see the caboose from the front. It's really cool. Maybe I'll join you there if it's not during Arkansas baseball. Yeah, it'll be fun. Dudley, thanks for coming on today. I always appreciate your time, man.
You bet, anytime.
Thanks, Dudley.
Dudley Dawson with Hogville joining us on Halftime. I've been on that train before. I've been on that Amtrak. Went from Pittsburgh to New York. You got to stop in Philadelphia. You got to get on a different train, go from there. But yeah, you do stop in Lancaster, right there in the middle of the state. Matt Jones and I on Friday have Halftime live at Pinnacle Grove Senior Living Center in Rogers. That's from 11 to 2 this Friday. Pinnacle Groves is where luxury meets community spirit. State-of-the-art fitness center, heated indoor swimming pool, and so much more else. You live your best life at Pinnacle Groves. No chores, all the fun. It's Rogers' favorite resort-style senior living community, and that's Pinnacle Groves at 5522 West Northgate Road in Rogers. That's Halftime live this Friday from 11 to 2. Our phone number on Halftime is 877-377-6963, and we'll come right back after this.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is ultimately all about fun. So is the new Ultimate Riches Scratch-Off ticket. It's loaded with over $3 million in prizes of $100 or more, all the way up to the ultimate prize, $200,000. You could be the first to win it all. Try the Ultimate Riches Scratch-Off game new this October at local lottery retailers. Have fun. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Lowe's knows saving pros time and money means getting the job done easier. Right now, get up to 50% off select composite decking and railing. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's Business Credit Card. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. 5% off are subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store lowes.com/credit for details.
This is Halftime.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercury.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, every matchup, breakdown, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, and NBA to political props. When the game is over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack, poke. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the fence
your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit their website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Oh, Mississippi, he's calling my name. Catfish are jumping, that paddle wheel bumping, black water keep blowing on past the stream. Mississippi, won't you keep on shining? Mississippi, won't you keep on shining? Mississippi, won't you keep on shining on me?
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elton and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
No availability reports yet for this weekend's SEC games. That'll come out later tonight. Taylor's got to be on this. I mean, he has to be on it. I wonder what he's going to be. He's not going to be out. It would be a real surprise. Probable or questionable. And my guess, just based on what Sam Pittman says, Matt, I think they'll go with probable. Doesn't mean he's going to play. Leaves the slightest little bit of doubt that he does play. But I bet that's my guess.
Yeah, I don't know what percent he has to be. I don't know if you start him just to start him, so maybe the backup doesn't have to. You kind of go through his normal routine too. How many reps in practice this week is he taking? How many did he take last week? There's a lot
I think he takes more than usual, no matter what.
The backup.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I don't think Taylor Green's playing this game. I really don't. And I think if he starts, he might play one or two series, and that'd be it. Like I just don't. That's just my gut feeling. I have no knowledge. You have more of an inside presence than I do as far as being around all those. I have no idea. I'm just going by what I saw.
Got texters that think Eddie says it's a clumsy attempt to make LSU think Singleton's going to start.
I don't think anybody from LSU listens to this show, so I think we're okay.
But they're paying attention to they're paying attention to the report.
Absolutely.
I don't think Eddie meant anything about our show. I think he's saying, and I don't know if it's clumsy or not. I think it's just a fact that they are not sure whether or not Taylor can get out there and play. But it also gives you the opportunity to be coy about this.
Mm-hmm.
If Green didn't get hit like that, you'd know who's going to start. Everybody would want to make their opponent have to prepare, or at least feel like they got to prepare for two quarterbacks. You're not going to force somebody to get hurt just to have a team prepare for two quarterbacks. Jody says he watched 2 LSU games and they're not very good. Says defense is okay, offense is non-existent.
Here's the thing with Brian Kelly LSU team, if you've noticed this, they progress as the year goes on. They are generally, he's a slow starter. I mean, that's just kind of, and they get better as it goes on. So I actually think LSU is really good. I think they got just as good a shot as any. I thought they should have won their first game, but we're going to find out. LSU gets Arkansas, then you know where they go next, Phil? They go to Texas A&M, bye week, and then you get Alabama. Still got to finish with Oklahoma. So there's still a lot of hurdles they got to climb.
You're right about, the slow start. I mean, they lost the opening game the last 2 years to Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the only 2 years that he's been there.
And to
What
USC,
did they follow that
USC
with?
this year.
They followed the first loss to Florida State with a division championship. That's kind of playing in the weeds, isn't it? Last year they followed their Florida State loss with another 10-win season. So and so this year you started with a loss to USC, and all they've done is just reel off 5 straight wins since. It's just that here's where, like, they've kind of specialized in winning a tight ball game. Carolina by 3, where they had to come from way back. A 3-point win against Ole Miss, a game where Ole Miss, outside of some mistakes, looked like the better team. And this LSU-Arkansas game is always close. 4 years in a row where it has been a 3-point ball game. And keep in mind, I mean, that was against last year's Heisman Trophy winner. And it was a game that Arkansas really did have a great chance in. Eddie says that, and this is true too, I saw Talon talking about this, that he and Nussmeier were rivals in high school. They played against each other in high school. Here's the soundbite.
LSU for sure. The quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier, he was my high school rival. I went to Louisville, he went to Flymont Marcus, and it's like one of the longest rivalries in Texas. They would have the whole stadium packed. It was on TV and all that.
Yeah, real Texas football.
Yeah, it was real. Yeah, bro. It was Friday Night Lights for sure. So I'm excited for that. Get my revenge, get my get back. I gotta get my get back.
Behind the Razorback Red.
For sure.
That was on the Ride Around show, which you can see on YouTube. The kid does a pretty good job with it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare. And keep in mind, it's like he chose a school that was a couple thousand miles away from home, Boise State, and ends up coming back to play against his high school rival anyway in a rivalry game. So I mean, it's got to make him a little comfortable in that case.
What did Fisherman Clay say that he did choose Boise State, but that was his best offer. It wasn't like he was a highly recruited guy coming out of high school.
Well, I think it'll be fun for him going up against somebody that he played against in high school, and that those games mattered that much. Jawan thinks that Malachi starts and that the offense has its best game of the season. That'd be a surprise. Be a real surprise. Look, I do think, and you've only seen just little pieces of it. I think Singleton, to me, looks like the kind of quarterback that should be an accurate passer. Throws a good-looking ball. Heck, he's a 5-star. I mean, he can move. I don't think he's not as fast as Taylor Green.
He can scamper. He's like a Russell Wilson. He can scamper a little bit, but he's no. He's not a 4.4, 4.5 guy, not at all. But he got a little scamper to him.
If Tennessee didn't have defenders getting out of the way on that go-ahead touchdown.
No, it's a 1-yard gain or 2. He misread it. First of all, he misread the play. It was a give. I don't know if they let him read it. I don't know these things, but it's a give read right there. First of all, it was a give read. So he misread it, and then second of all, no, he wouldn't have scored right there.
Ryan thinks if Malachi starts, they're going to stack the box. Heck, truthfully, I think if Green starts, they might stack the box because they're going to view Arkansas as, I think they'll put the pressure on the quarterback to make plays. Because, Arkansas is known as a running team. And if you have Taylor Green back there, if he starts, there's no way he's at 100%. He's not going to be the same kind of
and so here's the thing too, Phil. Here's something to think about. What does Taylor Green do when he gets blitzed 90% of the time? He beats it with his legs, right? He doesn't beat it with his arm. 90. I'm not saying he doesn't sometimes. He beats it with his legs. I'm bringing some heat. If Taylor Green's out there, I'm bringing. He doesn't like. He's not. And then he got to set in there and throw it and get hit. I just don't see Taylor Green playing. I don't see him starting.
Now Nussmeier is the kind of quarterback that knows how to pass against the blitz. That's what I wonder about this too. Like, you're able to create a lot of confusion for Iyamaleava, and I also think for that Tennessee offensive line at times. But this is a different thing with this LSU offensive line. They got guys that have been around for 2-3 years. I think there's only one transfer that's on that line. They've been part of the Brad Davis offensive line for a while. And you got a veteran quarterback who's been biding his time. And being a veteran quarterback, I mean, that's nothing that Arkansas has faced in a while, really. I mean, the last veteran quarterback was Peyton Thorne in the second half. The last veteran quarterback to start against Arkansas and play a full game was Alan Bowman at Oklahoma State. And Bowman made some plays late in the game. Nussmeier, this is the kind of quarterback that can beat the blitz. He knows how to beat the blitz. I wonder how it is. Do you play umbrella coverage? You got to trust your defensive backs in this case. If you do that, see, this is where LSU tries to run the ball a little bit, and they will run. I think their offense is I think their offense is good. I don't know where the idea that they have a bad offense comes from, really, because I think they can run it. They just don't try to run it as often. They've got this freshman running back, Durham, who leads them in rushing. He scored a couple of touchdowns in their comeback against South Carolina. Fell just short of 100 yards. They got three runners with over 100 yards. I mean, you never know who's going to be out there running the ball. I don't think they're just a pass offense. It's just they're pass oriented. And if you do play back, if you're trusting your defensive backs, I mean, Matt, that just opens up the door for them to try to run it. And I think they can run it. And in that case, they will.
They're very capable of running the ball, and that's the thing. You'll have to make sure that you mind your cues, you mind your gaps, because you get out of your lane thinking that, hey, I'm just going to rush the quarterback. They'll gas you for one.
It's going to be really interesting to see this. I thought I view Travis Williams, Matt, as if you're going to be a good coordinator on either side, you're going to be creative.
You got to adjust and adapt.
What worked one week doesn't always work the next week. But that also means, because this just feels like a versatile defense. And like Coach Pittman saying the other day about Williams just being more confident in his calls and knowing the personnel. So that's the other fascinating aspect of this. People love watching, you call Bobby Petrino a genius because he knows how to get receivers in open space. Well, I think Travis, maybe it's a little too early to go in the genius route with him. But we'll find out this Saturday, because you're facing, this is the first and for right now only pass-oriented offense that you've faced. So you got to come up with a different way to do this. And so this coordinator that is getting talked about as potentially someone for the Broyles Award and a future head coach, and our listeners want Arkansas to throw a ton of money at him so that he sticks around for another year, and I'd want him to stick around too. You're going to find out how creative he can be, because this is a completely different situation than I think Arkansas has faced this year. Like, I thought that Oklahoma State offensive line was really good, and Arkansas, basically just stopped their ability to run. Turns out that offensive line's really struggled. The A&M offensive line, I thought they did really well against them, against Auburn too. Tennessee, maybe these aren't, great offensive lines. I'll tell you, I think this LSU line is the best that you've faced this year.
Here's what a number we'll throw. We've been throwing out numbers. We've been pretty close, I think, talking so much this year when we're going into a game, saying what the keys are, what the numbers are going to be. I think we've been pretty spot on. 30's the points with LSU. If Travis Williams, but if our defense can hold LSU under 30, that's a win in itself. So can the offense find a way to get to that number? Because I think that's a number that's reasonable. I think it's achievable. I think if you can hold LSU's offense to under 30 points, I think that's a good number that gives us a chance to win the game.
They've been held under 30 twice this year.
So it can happen.
And they lost to Southern California 27-20 and beat Ole Miss 29-26.
Yeah, 29. Yeah, that's about
that
the
was a
number,
win.
I think. Yeah.
That's a win. They scored 29. How many points did it feel like Ole Miss left out there?
24, just in the first quarter.
Don't leave any points behind because it felt like Arkansas might have left 3 touchdowns on the field
One
in
of
the
the-
first quarter 2 weeks ago.
One of the worst plays, I think, in football. I see college teams run this. I see professional teams run this. But they hurry up to the line of scrimmage and run this basic dive play on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 without really getting set, and you don't have a push off, and it gets stopped more often than not. Like I don't know why. I get hurry up and stuff, but if you're not going to fire off, and that's what they did. That's what Ole Miss did against LSU a couple of times on that first 4th down. They just hurried up and ran the basic dive right, and then bam, bam. But you see at every game, you see somebody do that. And it usually gets just hit in the backfield.
Mark it down. Get to 31. It's going to be a win for Arkansas. Matt, I think you're spot on with that. And I think this defense can do that as well. 877-377-6963 if you got any thoughts on that. Can't get out to the game on Saturday? We'll get over to Joe's Grill and Cantina. That's where you want to be for every big game on Saturdays. Half-price apps and half-price taps during the game, but all day long, there's endless enchiladas and $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, and sangrias. Should be tons of fun. It always is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Half-price apps, half-price taps during the game. Pitcher specials all day on select beers and margs. $2 Busch Light drafts as well. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 74th Street in Fort Smith, right across from Harps. joesfortsmith.com. Quick break. We'll wrap up the second hour of halftime after this.
This is halftime.
Whether you are fishing a jetty on the Arkansas River or working around laydowns at Beaver, Washita, or Table Rock, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. is the topwater bait to call up summer bass. The Super Spook Jr. is a smaller version of the world's most famous topwater lure. The Spook is the original walk-the-dog lure and has been tricking big bass for almost 100 years. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Heddon Super Spook Jr.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
It's time for the 17th annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Tethered balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest. It's time for the 17th annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Tethered balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts need, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
The 0-2, a bouncer, and Rizzo is going to be picked off. He's in the middle between second and third. Hedges now throws to second, on the way to third, back to second, back to third, tagged out, end of inning. Boy, if that wasn't the Yankees, that's what they do, run the bases like drunks. Well, Glaber will lead off the next inning.
Oh, thank goodness the Yankees brought John Sterling back for the postseason. There's no way that the two replacements would have brought that ammunition out. And I guess when you're in your 80s, you can kind of say whatever you want, and Sterling does that to a point. It was great. Run the bases like drunks. I think I've called it Keystone Cops base running before. You can't. I would never be able to call college athletes drunks. I think I'd get in trouble for that.
Yeah, you got to be of age, right? Maybe in Europe where they don't care anymore. But yeah,
that's right. Yeah, they just have a glass of wine before the match, don't they?
Yeah, take a nap. What are you gonna do?
By the way, speaking of European soccer, I saw a commercial, Matt, for El Clasico yesterday at ESPN on. I think it was the college football playoff show that they had for 30 minutes.
Say the 16th, I think, is what you had sent. Yeah,
I sent you a photo of it. But that's Real Madrid against Barcelona, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's the biggest game in sports, most to watch regular season game of any kind every year. It's the most watched game in sports.
You mean it's going to get more eyes than a Georgia Texas game or like Oregon versus Ohio State? Come on.
Right. It might not be as much as the combined payroll of the Yankees, Mets, and Dodgers, but it's pretty close.
I forgot to write that number down. I added it up. The combined payrolls for the two New York teams and the Dodgers.
It's a smidge under, yeah.
It's like just under $840 million for three teams. Just under $840 million. And you know what that doesn't even count? That doesn't count any of the employees who don't play for the major league team. That's just their 40-man roster that they're paying. That doesn't even count the minor leaguers. Craziness. And then the USA Today released the what all the football coaches in the country make in college football and FBS. And I started adding up the SEC coaches, and I think SEC football coaches are making over $100 million when you put them all together. A lot of money out there. Maybe there's some in radio. Stay with us. We're into the third hour of halftime right after this.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
My second up, the game plan that he put together, that was fun to watch.
3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. I'm a patient there, and you can be too. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with always on energy. Visit AOGC.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon will be in the low to mid 60s. Clear skies. Could see some patchy frost overnight as we drop down into the mid 30s. Sunshine, a high in the upper 60s on Thursday. Friday, sunny skies. Highs just over 70. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that the perspective.
Smith, I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Busy day here on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson with Matt Jones, Colton Little, C45 producing our final hour, 877-377-6963 to get with halftime. And here's why it's busy. Ruskin and Zach coming up 2 o'clock. Take you right to 7. And then it's Sam Pittman Live. Cam Ball and Fernando Carmona will join Chuck Barrett and head coach Sam Pittman at the Catfish Hole tonight. Carmona's won a couple of SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week awards, Matt. He's been really good at left tackle.
Man, I was just going to say 2 kids that have both actually been shining pretty good. I think Cam Ball's come on more the last few weeks. But Cremona, yeah, he's been. I mean, two kids that are absolutely shining.
Ball, for me, is an example of watching somebody develop,
get better
over the course of his career here at Arkansas. I think this is 4th year. And I thought you saw some things from Cam last season that made you think, hey, if he sticks around at Arkansas another year, he's going to be one of your stalwarts on the defensive line. And he's been playing with a really thick arm brace on his right arm all season. It hasn't slowed him down yet.
They, I wonder if it's a good question or not, Phil. But are you worried at all that with Arkansas having some success that our guys might be gone in this portal window? Remember, Bill King brought this up. He said less than 60 days that the portal's open again. Like, are you worried? I mean, Arkansas does so well. Now, do you have to pay these players to come back again? And are you going to get picked off a little bit? Or is that just how it is? Like, you're going to lose some, you're going to win some like we did last year. It seems like we get more players than we lose, if you think about it.
I think you would have to worry about it, Matt. Yes, I do. Unless the certain amount of money is there that you feel you can raise these guys from one year to the next. Carmona was even talking about this. I don't know exactly where it was that he said this. I read it in the Best of Arkansas Sports website. Where he was talking about, I mean, we signed a 1-year contract. He went through the details of what it was like to sign a contract for NIL, and it lasts through December. It's for 1 year. And then he even said, then when it comes up again the next month, I guess he's talking about January of 2025, renegotiate.
That's how it is, right? Yeah. Well,
that's the problem right now with I think what you got in college football. Everybody's on essentially a 1-year contract.
But I get
that's just a really tough place to try to operate, isn't it?
Well, it's I see tape. You watch tape and you're like, that dude can go. We got to call him to see that dude can go. All right, we got to call him and see what is he getting. It's just such a weird spot to be in college football with every year being a 1-year deal and apparently not performance based. So how do you get this where it's like more, if it's a 2-year, 4-year, I don't know, 1-time, 2-time transfer, how you work on that? Because then if you transfer more than twice, then wherever you're at, then they would have the leverage and they could offer you whatever they wanted for an NIL deal because you can't transfer anymore.
Yeah. I was looking too. It's like, who are the players that you think might actually, other teams will go after? Because they'll go after your best players. Those who have the huge war chests, if they feel that there's a need at a certain position, they'll go after your players. We know, and nobody really is able to investigate whether there's tampering or not unless some poor kid says something about it when he didn't realize he shouldn't say something about it a few weeks after, like Proctor from Alabama, where he, kind of let the cat out of the bag about being in touch with the Iowa coaches throughout the entire season. But it's like, Larry, so looking at some of these players here,
I can think of there's a cornerback I really like on this team. Metcalf is another one, and then Russell would be my first call. I'd be calling Braylon Russell, wondering how do I get him to my school.
That's somebody I'd want on my team no matter what. Mm-hmm. You get being from Central Arkansas, can you rely on that sort of loyalty now? You still have some of your best players in the state that go outside the state to play at other schools. What's the feeling that the same thing wouldn't happen for the guys that are already on your team if the money's right and it's the right place? And usually at this time of the year, Matt, I think coaches would be, I don't know if worried is the right word, but maybe it is, about their high school signees or high school commits being flipped. Now they got to worry about that and their own players on their own team potentially being flipped by somebody within your own league. I guess you wouldn't worry too much about a player transferring outside the conference because there's so many players that come to the SEC because you're here in the SEC. They want to play against the best. And that's why, and I don't mean to get into this conversation, but the whole idea of Arkansas would dominate in the Big 12, you're not going to get the same players going to the Big 12 as Arkansas in the SEC. You just won't. So the idea that Arkansas would dominate the Big 12. Yes, with this team this year, maybe they would. But if they played in the SEC as a league member, you're not getting the same sort of players. So it's a different thing. But transferring within the SEC, absolutely. You got to worry about that. I think you'd be naive not to. And so hopefully, how much time do you have to raise the appropriate money? While, by the way, too, Matt, also finding savings in the school
Value.
couch,
Yeah.
and everything to get to the point to where you can pay the players directly, because that's also going too. Now, here's one thing that I really do like about what appears to be accepted by, and I can't remember the judge's name, that's been on top of this House settlement, gave preliminary approval to the settlement in its current form, which would include an enforcement arm, I believe, from a third party on NIL regulations, which you do not have any of that right now. And that was initially going to be the sticking point, was that the judge did not want restrictions on NIL, but it sounds like she's bought into it. And that's where, that's where you get a much more level playing field. If there are real restrictions on NIL that can actually be enforced, and you have an enforcement arm that isn't the NCAA, some third party that actually takes the job seriously, then maybe there's a real level playing field coming. And it feels like the portal and NIL has already sort of leveled the playing field to a point right now. But I think in the future, it'll maybe even become a little bit more leveled out, which sounds good. Jeff in Fort Smith texts in, yeah, I didn't know Isaiah Gustav and Torian Carter were at Colorado. That's right. I hadn't seen how those guys are doing, but they did transfer out, and they went to a Big 12 school. And Augusta was somebody that, man, I thought you could, I don't know, it's like build around him, but I liked what I saw from Augusta last year. He ended up leaving the SEC, going to the Big 12. So there, I mean, it's a good point, Jeff. It's not just guys that are leaving to go somewhere else. I mean, A.J. Green transferred to Oklahoma State. I don't know if he's done very much this year. And Ryan thinks you got to sell another goalpost. Well, they sold, I don't remember how much money we figured out that they could make from these goalposts at $500 for however much it was. Yeah, win this game against LSU, lower those goalposts very slowly again, and then sell those suckers all over again. Remember, it costs about anywhere between, like $15,000 and $19,000 for field-ready goalposts. So I would assume you're going to make about, $30,000, $40,000 per goalpost then?
Well, you got to have 4 of them on hand, too. I mean, you got to have a backup in case something happens.
And then sooner or later, we'll start selling.
How many times?
We won't have to start selling pieces of the net. We'll actually sell the entire stanchion that holds up the basketball net after a win where people rush the floor. That's what they'll do next.
You know what?
Sell pieces of the batter's eye from Baum Stadium.
You don't see as much as in basketball. Every once in a while, something's going to happen to the rim. They got to come out there and level it, measure it. Something, there's some type of malfunction. There's not a lot of malfunctions with the goalpost.
I don't think I've ever heard of a goalpost malfunction.
Like during the middle of a game, we're like, we got to go fix this. Like you do with basketball.
Is askew. It's leaning. It's leaning one way or the other.
It's like Johnny Depp's handkerchief and Nick's scarf. It's just askew.
That's right. That's a very good point. And I do remember it's like, oh man, I can't even believe that this was the reason that you lost the Texas A&M game last year or 2 years ago, because the kick hit the goalpost. The NFL goalposts, I think, are a couple, maybe 3 feet taller than the college goalposts. The rules state in college, if the kick goes over the goalpost, it's a good kick. That kick by Cam Little would have gone over the goalpost if the game was played in a college stadium. That kick was in an NFL stadium, in the Cowboys stadium. Those goalposts were taller. That's how you lost that game. Can we get 2 feet of the goalpost from AT&T Stadium to sell? Because there's some people out there that like the macabre pieces of memorabilia. The Petrino motorcycle, the Bobby Petrino helmet, and the neck brace, and those sorts of things. There are people that have those things out there. You bet your bottom dollar they do. Hey, if you're craving anything sweet and delicious during Arkansas football games or any other time of the day, Andy's Frozen Custard has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. They got locations in Conway, East Oak Drive, and Dave Ward Drive, Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. And for Saturday football games, take home a pick 6, Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat. That's Andy's Frozen Custard, ready to serve you. Walk up or drive through at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 2 locations in Conway, East Oak Drive in the DWD, and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. Our number on halftime is 877-377-6963, and we'll be back right after this.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is halftime.
5 seconds to go. Matt, right side. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Qualls with the dunk at the buzzer. It goes and Arkansas wins. It goes and Arkansas wins. Qualls with a two-hand finish. Arkansas wins the ball game.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. Huge mums in 10-inch pots, only $8.99. Get instant savings of up to $50 on select Ego, Craftsman, and Still outdoor power equipment. And check out our great deals on chainsaws and blowers for fall. Order online now and pick up in-store or curbside anytime. Find more everyday low prices online at JaegersHardware.com.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
It's time for the 17th Annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Tethered balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest. It's time for the 17th Annual Hodo Balloon Fest, Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. Tethered balloon rides, balloon glows, free circus performances 3 times each day, monster truck, helicopters, carnival rides, and so much more. The Hodo Balloon Fest.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Sitting in a tiny table in a ritzy restaurant. She was staring at her coffee cup. He was trying to keep his courage up by applying blues. talk was small and they talked at all. They both knew what they wanted. There was no need to talk about it. They were old enough to scope it out. Keep it loose. She said, you don't look like my type, but I guess you'll do.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
How many times you done this, Matt?
We say, I even tell you I love you if you want me to.
A time or two. What is today? This is day 14 of 55 straight days with football on television. There's only one sicko game on TV tonight. There were 3 sicko games yesterday. Florida International at UTEP. UTEP's one of 2 winless teams in the country at 0-6. FIU 2-4. There's a good Conference USA matchup on the deuce. Western Kentucky and Sam Houston State. One of those teams will be knocked out of the CUSA League unbeaten ranks. Both are 4-2. In their conference play. I'll be skipping those games. I'm going to be watching Dodgers Mets, which is a 7:08 first pitch. Walker Buehler for the Dodgers. Luis Severino for the Mets. I don't know if they have to show this first pitch with Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry, Matt. They absolutely have to show it. I think they're gonna. I think I think it's Robin Ventura throwing a pitch to Mike Piazza for tomorrow's game to celebrate that 2000 NL championship. I can't remember the players they're bringing out for the time that they lost to the Royals in the World Series. But Strawberry and Gooden together, it's like those are 2 players that are iconic from that 86 Mets team. I don't think there's any Hall of Famers on the 86 Mets. Not one. Not even the skipper. I don't think Davey Johnson even was voted into the Hall of Fame. Lenny Dykstra on that. They had some crazy people on that team, man. I mean, first of all, they were all, not all of them, but most of them were coked up. I mean, Keith Hernandez has talked about this. Strawberry obviously has talked a lot about it. So has Gooden. There were others that got involved in that kind of stuff there too. And I guess he wasn't really an outcast, but the guy that wouldn't do any of that, and I don't even think he drank, was Gary Carter, who is in the Hall of Fame. I think he might be the one Met player from that team that actually is in Cooperstown. And it's like it's so amazing when you think about like the way that people live their lives somehow. Carter has been gone a long time now. I think he's been dead for 10, 12 years, brain cancer. And he lived a clean life. And then there's Gooden and Strawberry, and they're more known for what they didn't become instead of what they were. And they're still alive and doing well. You know, Strawberry's in an incredible place. Just hearing him talk about how close he felt like he was to death and how worthless he felt from childhood. He basically had a stepfather or a father that told him he was worthless every chance he got. With Strawberry and his brother, if I remember the story that he told me, basically kicked their dad out of the house. I mean, that's what he was carrying around with him his entire career. He's in a much more peaceful place now. So yeah, that's what I'll be watching today. Is there soccer to watch today, Matt?
Saturday, Sunday, it gets back going. Sunday, you got Liverpool hosts Chelsea Sunday 10:30. But no, they were international break this week, so they get going. Full slate of games Saturday.
You know, there was a term that Cal used yesterday, and I can't remember exactly the why it was that he used this term, but it's a term that you brought up yesterday too. It's almost like Cal was listening to the show, and it was fugazi. I don't exactly remember the context in which he brought it up, but he said it twice over like a 20-second stretch, and you called Ole Miss. I think they're the Ole Miss fugazis, right? Fugazi means fake.
It's Donnie Brasco, the juror coming there. What's a moissanite? It means it's not real. What's fugazi? Yeah, it's fake. Exactly.
So you're viewing Ole Miss as fake.
They're fake hard.
Instead of a real contender for national champion.
I think they're fool's gold.
Who else is Fugazi right now? Do you think Alabama is?
I never thought Milroe was capable of winning something. He can't pass the ball. I never thought Milroe should be the starting quarterback there. I get that he's an athlete, and you're like, well, he's the best athlete. But when it comes down to it, I do not have any. I think Milroe would be one of the biggest Fugazis out there.
Now, what about the Alabama defense? Because it's not quite, the way that we view an Alabama defense. Vanderbilt basically did what they held the ball for over 40 minutes. That's never happened to the Alabama Crimson Tide, Matt. That's another aspect of it that maybe makes Alabama a little bit Fugazi here, is that they do not have the kind of defense that they usually have. But how much of this do you put on the coach, for the team being ready to go, ready to play, playing with passion? Some people are putting that on DeBoer instead of Saban. But then I also remember it's like Saban's first year at Alabama did not go very well. It took 2 years for him to really get the engine revving. And I understand Saban left the cupboard not dry. You can't even say he left it dry. He left it much fuller than it was left for Saban when he took the job. But first year is still a first year. It took Saban a while to get it going. Maybe it takes DeBoer a little more time to get it going too.
My top 4 in the SEC, and you can put these in whatever order you want to, but my top 4 teams that I would think that could make the playoff 12, because I think there's going to be 3, maybe 4 in the SEC. Right now it's Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, and LSU. Those would be my top 4.
Tennessee is Fugazi, aren't they?
They're 5. Their quarterback's been found out. Their quarterback is a freshman. He's been found out a little bit. And they probably I don't know that they did enough in their bye week. They get Alabama, Phil. That's going to be, they get Alabama by Kentucky, Mississippi State, Georgia. Ooh, this is a big game. Alabama, Tennessee right here, because they still got Georgia on the schedule.
Who's Mizzou got this weekend? They get Auburn. I don't know. I can't call Auburn Fugazi because I didn't really expect that much from them. Did you see your boy? Your boy said that who was it? He said Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and Missouri are doing more with less talent. And then I keep thinking to myself, wait a minute, Missouri doesn't have any talent? I think Missouri's got plenty of talent. They have maybe the first wide receiver is going to go in the draft. Got a quarterback that
I like their quarterback.
I think a quarterback that they're looking at too. And I was like, hold on a moment here, Hugh. Kentucky, maybe I understand that there. Vanderbilt, yes, but I think this Vandy team has more talent than we appreciate. And then there's Auburn, and they're just not very good. So I can't call them Fugazi. Mizzou, maybe?
No, you have to give the appearance of being real. You're right. It has to be the appearance that it could be real. I don't think
LSU is real, though. You think LSU is legitimately a contender?
I think they're the 4th best team in the SEC. I think Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M, LSU. That's how I rank them. But you put the 4 in whatever order you want. But those are the 4 best teams, in my opinion, in the SEC this year, or at least right now.
So then, who do you think is number 5?
That's the thing. 5's the first girl out. It's the one that's not going to get to go to the ball. You don't have to worry about your dress size because it's Cinderella early. I don't know. I don't know. I really think Ole Miss is better than what happened. I thought they left points. Maybe Ole Miss. Maybe that's who. Even though I'm hard on Ole Miss. Maybe Ole Miss should be a little tougher. They should be a little tougher on themselves. But I think Ole Miss right there. Oh yeah, I could go Ole Miss 5.
You imagine it'll be really, I don't know if funny is the right word or everything, but it's once you know what the playoff field looks like, nobody from those 12 teams opts out, right? Because these are supposed to be games that matter. You win, you keep playing. I can't imagine there'll be opt-outs. But on the other hand,
didn't Ohio State have a receiver do that 2 years ago? He said,
was I'm not in the playoff?
Well, he said, I'm not going to play in the first one, but if we make it to the championship, I'll play in the championship game.
You're right. I can't remember who it was.
It's so weird.
But that's the other aspect of this too. It's so instead of playing one game in which you could get hurt because it's football and you got to be ready for the draft or the combine, well, what about playing 3 or 4 games? I mean, 3 or 4 games where you very well could get hurt. Better have the pay scale properly done so that your roster stays intact for the playoff.
Well, it's a new NIL deal. NIL deal runs through December. So I get a new NIL deal if you want me playing in January. I think that's what Carbona just said.
See, and this is where the players have all the power now. Another thing Carmona said is that he realizes that he operates within a very specific and short-lived time window in college sports to where the players have the power. Like he is well aware of this, that this era of college football, however short it's going to be, where the players have all the power and can transfer on an annual basis and demand more and more money, it isn't going to last forever because of this settlement. That will change. So it's the idea that at least he, and I would hope most of the guys and gals that are playing college sports right now, and I think the ones who have a lot of power for women's sports or in basketball, they got to appreciate the era that they live in because it's not going to last forever. And once the next iteration of college sports is figured out and the rules and the guidelines are in place, there'll be a little bit more of a balance of power, and it'll be good for the sport. It'll probably be good for everything involved in college sports. It's just this is a time that's much different than any other. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us here on Halftime. Don't forget to renew your hunting license. When you renew your Arkansas hunting license, you renew so much more than the hunt. You renew traditions. Hunting license season is wide open. Do not put it off. Pull the trigger today on the most essential part of the hunt. Renew your hunting license at huntnatural.com. And we'll be back with a home stretch of Halftime right after this break.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
You're listening to Halftime live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Whether you're planting a tree in your backyard or trenching at a construction site, a call to 811 helps prevent dangerous damage to underground utilities and is the first step in keeping yourself and your community safe. Hitting a line can knock out service to your home and neighborhood, resulting in fines, damages, serious injury, or worse. Safety is in your hands. Call 811 before you dig. It's easy, it's free, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Black Hills Energy.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Get away. Stop it up and you're okay. Money.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Mike Neighbors is a couple hours away from speaking in Birmingham at the SEC Basketball Media Days. We had Coach Neighbors on, I think it was Thursday last week. I forget if it was Thursday or Friday. And he had told me that I'm going to need to practice pronouncing the hometowns of some of the players that are new to the team this year, internationally specifically. Just get some tough ones here, truthfully, Matt. And maybe I can't even find a pronunciation guide on the team website yet. Men's side has all the pronunciations, not so on the women's side, and that's really where you need it. And it isn't necessarily just the names; it is the cities. Although, and I'm kind of entertained by the idea of this. New freshman forward, and I don't know how to pronounce her name properly, so I'm just going to give it a try live here on the air. Again, there's no pronunciation guide. Pinja Pananen, 6'2" freshman, says she's from Finland. Doesn't give a city, just from Finland. So that's helpful, because if I had to announce the name of the school that she went to, it's a basketball academy, it literally is just 2 vowels out of like 12 letters here.
Is
Helsinki,
Helsinki, is Helsinki the capital
that
of
is
Finland?
Yeah. Yes. But it doesn't say where she's from. She's just from Finland. It's like, I'm from the United States. So are you, Matt.
Well, there's a
Pinja
bullet train.
Pananen is from
that-
Finland.
Exactly. You just got to jump on that bullet train and you can be wherever you want to be.
Phoenix Stodian, I think I brought this up when they signed her a couple years ago. She is from Haarlem, Netherlands. Haarlem with 2 A's. Don't confuse it with the northern edge of Manhattan. Her mom is an international recording star named Anouk, and she is very well known. Maybe not here in the States, but over in Europe, she's really, really popular. Haarlem, Netherlands. Again, I think there's like 7 countries that are represented on the Arkansas women's basketball team. Vera Ojanua, who Mike has talked about, I think she'll end up being the starting 5, is from Lagos, Nigeria, but played at Barton Community College last year. Danica Galea is she's 6'3", a freshman center. She's from San Paul Il Bahar on the island of Malta. San Paul, whenever he refers to Paul Feinbaum, remember they just throw in the W instead of the U for his name? That's how you spell San Paul, Pawl, Il Bahar, on the island of Malta. And then Cristina Sanchez-Cercaya from Granada, Spain. That one I can say properly. And the American cities are pretty easy to say, too. So it looks like there's a couple of them. And sooner or later, I think we'll know what city Pinja Pananen comes from. Hey, we got like 3 weeks until the first game, Matt, so I'm going to have to figure this stuff out lickety-split. So we'll see what Mike has to say about this team. And across the SEC, there's not much expected because they're picked 16th out of 16 SEC teams, coming off of back-to-back NIT trips, first-round exit, of course, last year against Tulsa, 20 wins, 28 losses in the SEC the last 3 years, and got to replace top 5 in everything. Top 5 in everything. Minutes, points, rebounds, assists, fouls. And if there is a statistic for people not getting along, they got to replace that too. Hopefully the idea of a little more cohesiveness off the court can lead to more cohesiveness on the court. But that's not always the case. I mean, that isn't always the case. There are plenty of teams that are known for not getting along and still finding a way to win games. I think it was the Yankees when they won back-to-back world championships, were known as 25 players, 25 Cavs when the game was over. They didn't hang out. Heck, they all hated Reggie Jackson, and yet they won back-to-back World Series anyway. So, Matt, can the ability to get along on a team, can that sometimes be overdone? Or do you view the ability to get along off the court synonymous with on-floor, on-court, on-field chemistry too?
Well, what I think it can do is take you over the edge both ways. It can make a good team great, and it can make a bad team really bad. Because if you like each other, it's easier to show up and compete, at workouts, and you're paying attention more. It's so I think if you kind of get along, I do think it can help, but that's not you can't expect everybody to be buddies, usually, and you're kind of cool with everybody, but you have one or two friends, you can't be friends with everybody, but yeah, you want to be able to get along, because I do think it can take you both sides. It can take you over the edge, and then if you have talent, then yeah, I guess it doesn't matter as well, like how much you get along, because if you have talent, you're still going out there for a common goal.
See, and I don't think it's personality conflicts that lead to losses. It's just the idea that losses can exacerbate the personality conflicts. That can take. It's like everybody can be happy if you're winning. Doesn't mean you have to like everybody that you're working with. But when you're losing,
a lot of finger pointing starts happening, and then
and it might be a very specific finger that gets pointed to, not necessarily the pointer. Yeah, that can be some pretty nasty stuff. When the finger pointing happens, you obviously know you got a team that's not winning ball games. Do you feel you're seeing that with the football team right now? Do you think you're seeing, again, it's not an idea of guys getting along, but I felt like last year, the getting along might have been an aspect of it, but I think there also was a feeling of haves and have-nots in terms of the money they were being paid. Maybe you don't see quite as much of a difference now. Do you feel like that's playing out on the field?
I'll tell you what I see. I see more talent on the field this year.
Well, it's going to matter more.
I do. I think that. I think that defense is pretty solid, man. I mean, I think they follow their coach. They follow they follow Sam and Travis. I think they follow both those guys, and the defense, the way they fly around, I mean, the way they're having fun, the way they're helping each other up, all that little stuff goes into it. Celebrating together, not individually. That's another thing that's, you celebrate with your teammate. But yeah, no, I honestly, man, I think at a lot of places that we have a lot more talent on this roster this year than we did last year.
Safe to say, do you feel like the biggest upgrade has been at offensive line, or is there another position that
it might be quarterback, man? KJ's already lost his job at UCF. I was totally wrong on that. I was a KJ. I still am a KJ fan. I'm not saying that, but I thought he would go down there and set the world on fire, kind of lowering down in division. Gus Malzahn is a quarterback whisperer. I mean, quarterbacks get better when they play for Gus. So I think just at that main position right there in quarterback that we got better. But yes, the offensive line is this is a real SEC offensive line they have. Now they're still kind of working some things out, but that's okay. But yes, I think our offensive line is better.
I think they're better at running back too. And that's saying because I think Rocket, I mean, I
was
still
hurt,
enjoy watching him
yeah.
in South Carolina, but he wasn't the same guy. You're right.
I know, and that was the key. So our top two guys on offense last year, as far as money getters, as far as the biggest bag, they didn't even want to be here. I mean, Rocket barely played. He was hurt the whole year. He didn't really want to play. KJ's picking himself up off the dirt, every other play. So I think it helps too when your guys that are getting more of the money are your first people to practice, are your leaders, are your best players, are your contributors, are the guys that are captains and leaders. I think that helps your team as well.
Man, you see that with the running backs too. And I love what you watch from Braylon Russell. I think the kid's a star in the making as long as he stays healthy. He looks to me like another coming of Dominique Johnson. I think Johnson was going to be a star if he didn't have the knee injuries. There's always that if. I see Russell the same way. I think Jaquindon Jackson. I mean, look at how many times Jackson looks hurt where that arm is dangling down or, he needs a series or two off. But he pulls himself back up off that field, and he doesn't take himself out of the game and not come back. He gets back out there again.
Man,
I think there is more want to as well, yes.
They're all these kids are tough. Phil, all these kids are tough when you're playing at this level. Running backs are pretty dangs. They're top of the list. When you're just talking about football players, linebackers are tough and they're all tough is what I'm saying. Running backs, man, that's a car collision 10 times a game, 12 times a car crash. You have to be a tough SOB to play running back in the SEC.
Now, you mentioned another position and where I think you've upgraded. It's linebacker. And I liked Jaheim Thomas, and I liked Antonio Greer last year. But there was the feel. It wasn't the feeling. You watched it in the last two SEC games. Those guys stopped caring. I think Greer wasn't even playing for a game. I think Thomas was held out for a game as well. I don't know the reasons why, but there was a bit of a disconnect between the way that they played in September and October and the way they played in November. I love what you see from your linebackers right now. Xavier Sori is all over the place. He's playing like somebody that was like, bide your time at Georgia and it's going to come sooner or later, right? Well, here he is. He's got his chance at Arkansas and he's doing something with it. Steven Dix Jr., I love what you see from him at that position. Spence has played well at that position. I think that they've upgraded at linebacker, and I think attitude feels that that's potentially another reason why. Landon Jackson is a mid-season All-American, according to the Reese's Senior Bowl. Look at the other names up here that are, and this is first team in the eyes of those who selected the Senior Bowl. A&M and Nick Scorton, Ole Miss has Walter Nolan, and Ohio State's Tyler Hamilton. Join Landon Jackson, according to the Reese's Senior Bowl, as the top 4 defensive linemen in the country.
Now, do they have to be seniors anymore, or has that rule changed? Now, are these just the top 4 seniors that are the defensive linemen?
I know Scorton is. I know Jackson is in his 4th year. Nolan, I remember he was like the biggest signee for Texas A&M. I can't remember what year he is.
20 years ago, you had to be a senior for that, but I know with everything changing, I don't know if they allow juniors to play in that game now or not.
It probably has to be like a 4th year.
There you go.
Very least.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a 4th year junior, so that would be the case with that. But I mean, that says something about Jackson. And again, it's like you're looking at the numbers for him, and you can't just look at his numbers. It's got to be the idea of how he's playing. And I love this soundbite from Sam Pittman about one of the reasons why Landon Jackson has improved from last year to this year.
He plays hard. Number one, he's long, but he plays hard. His get off is much faster this year than it's been. So he's putting the tackle in a two-way go. Obviously, if you get off slow, you're either going to bull or run the edge. Now he also has added that spin and or that inside move where he's getting the tackle to open up a little bit. It'll be a big challenge for their tackles and for him. Be a good matchup. But that's what he's doing. He's playing just so much quicker off the ball than what he has been.
watching Landon Jackson develop has been a lot of fun over these last 3 years. It's like we brought up Cam Ball a moment ago and how he's developed into, I think, a top flight defensive tackle in the SEC. Remember with Landon Jackson, I mean, he comes over with an injury, and had to play through that coming back from that injury the first year, put on all the weight for last year, had himself a nice season, and now he's this first-round pick all the way, right? I mean, Mel Kiper's got him as the second best defensive end in the country.
Yes, he's dynamite. I don't know about first round yet. I don't know. A lot of those edge guys that go first, Phil, are guys that are they project to have 12 sacks a year. He's a two-way player. He's a run stopper first. So maybe at the end of that, not that he can't get to the quarterback, but I agree with everything that's, my feelings about Landon Jackson, and that I think he's shown up every single game. And he's been our best player on defense, most consistent player. And you can't just look at the numbers. You can't just go say, well, he doesn't have this amount of sacks. If he wasn't on this, if Landon Jackson, Phil, he's worth 5 points a game. If he's not playing, the defense is 5 points worse. That's really he's the most valuable player on our defense.
Couple of college football games tonight. There's NBA preseason, NHL regular season is underway, and you got the Dodgers and the Mets. Dodgers are favored minus 115 on the money line, even though they're on the road at Citi Field today. All of the best lines are on the BetSaracen app. It is Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Perfect for this time of the year. Perfect for any of the 12 months throughout the year. Download it for your Apple iPhone from the App Store. Android users, download from Google Play. You can get on any web browser. It works there. BetSaracen.com. We'll wrap up halftime right after this break.
Connor, all I'll say is truck, yeah.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where we are rolling out Rath Auto Relief. Now through midnight on Halloween, get up to $1,500 Rath cash when you purchase any one of our Rath Road Ready vehicles. Use it to pay your sales tax, get extra for your trade, or just take it right off the price. Plus, follow us on Facebook for fun-free giveaways every week. Rath Auto Relief. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Turn them on the radio. You play it way down. There's a tear in your eye that's reflecting the fire's glow. And I wish this night would never end. The sun ain't gonna be my friend. Here waiting and wishing I could win.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Well, all right, it took, let's see, Saturday to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days for the NCAA to close the loophole that Dan Lanning and Oregon took advantage of for that brilliant 12 men on the field penalty. There is a new interpretation for the rule, Matt Jones. It reads, after the 2-minute timeout in either half, if there is a substitution foul and 12 players or more are on the field and participate in a down, defense gets a penalty for the foul. The offended team has the option to reset the game clock back to the time displayed at the snap. Yep. So I guess that'll do it for that play. Which
one and done.
That's right, one and done. Although, who was it? Because Colton sent me the link about this the other day. It was yesterday. I think we were talking to Buddy Ryan. Brought it up. What they call it, the Polish goal line strategy. I don't think you could call it that these days. Probably wouldn't go over well for very good reason. So now we can call it the. I'm too into alliteration. I don't know, but you got to name it after Dan Lanning. It's the new Dan Lanning rule, just like there's the Kenny Pickett rule. You can't fake a slide if you're a quarterback, which I think that rule change took 2 weeks. This one took 3 days. Who said the NCAA was a stodgy organization? If you make a change like that quickly, then you can do a lot of things pretty quickly. All right, we got baseball later today. You got some college football later today. You got Sam Pittman live, which will be airing on this very station that you're listening to at 7 o'clock, and it's Cam Ball. Well, let me double check who was on this again here too, because I got this. It was Cam Ball and Fernando Carmona at the Catfish Hole, and we will reconvene tomorrow and talk about all of that. BE says the Tuck rule was I don't think the Tuck rule was changed in 3 days. It took them until the next time the rules committee met before they changed that rule. That's kind of funny how these things work out. All right. I got cats jumping all over me right here. We're going to end the show. For Matt Jones, for Seaburger Movie Unit and C45, I'm Phil Elson. We appreciate your ears and your attention today on Halftime. Now, get up, get out, and get better.